That 3 2 not forget. Okay. Messed up. That's all. A3. There you go. Should be in the chat. Should be blue. Oh, yeah, should. Anyway, not wet. There we go. Up, more down, more. There we go. Boy. Water. Mm-hmm. Mm, mm. And you fixed it.
Ah,
Oh,
how are you, sweetheart?
you fixed it. What the heck you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Mm.
Just thought I would pop in real quick.
Oh,
How are you, sweetheart?
you fixed it. What the heck you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Mm. Yep.
Just thought I would pop in real quick. I don't know how I ended up with 3 versions of you open.
I don't know.
See, you're my favorite painter.
Thank you.
So I'm the first to hop in as an official Pink Raider. Rawr!
Just getting ready for next week.
I'm going to try and be here for your Tuesday night.
Marky
We got
Mark.
Mimi Sparkles here, Mimi. Hi,
Hi.
welcome in.
Hello. How are you doing?
You tell me, Mimi,
What'd you say?
almost went to 4 hours last night doing a live.
Oh my goodness.
I had a panel up and everything. I'm like, oh my goodness. I looked up and it was 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, ooh, I gotta get bed.
I was gonna say, how did I not see that? But that's why, because I was sleeping.
I go, oh man, I gotta get to bed. I can't stay up 2 a.m. in the morning doing this stuff. Oh me. Sure, I'm getting ready for next week. Wow,
I think I just butt dialed Pink. Or knee dialed her. Because all of a sudden I heard her voicemail. Whoops. Soul, what is that face that you're making?
I'm trying to read this thing going, huh?
Would you like to see something that will make your day feel good?
Oh, I'm always up for feeling good.
It's almost a guarantee.
Okay, 1 second.
Hey, Brenda. Come into the chat.
Okay, where? Yes, come on.
Mark.
There we are. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I show a quick video?
Sure. Fine. I'll add it to the screen.
It will make you happy. Okay, let me do the settings. Yeah, let's do it fast. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mr. Sparkles, are you ready? Here I go. Oh, like
We don't see it.
He's playing. Okay, are you ready?
Did you share it?
Oh, here goes Mimi.
Getting it right now.
Oh, it's a gutter ball.
Here we go.
Hey, Mr. Sparkles, are you ready? Here I go. Oh, like he's ready.
Is it on?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He's playing. Okay, are you ready? Okay, here goes Mimi. Oh, it's a gutter ball. Oh, honey, that scream. Okay.
And now
Let
the
me try
light.
again. I get one more. I get one more time. Oh my god! Give me that ball.
Embry, no show fighting.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Sorry. Are you?
I gotta try again because that was so bad. Yes! Right. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Hey, Marshall! How are you, Marshall? Yes, it's your turn. Wow, this is so fun. We're never going bowling again. Oh my.
Oh, it hurt.
Yeah. Gypsy, it's survival. Okay, it's survival. We're really not that fun. We just need to survive with this girl. Because if she's not having fun, nobody's having fun. You know what I mean? Okay. Oh, pop, pop. All right, I want to see you get a strike, Pops. I want to see you get a strike. Here, I will. Are you going to set him up? Okay. Emery, what are you doing?
Taking the ball and going home.
But it's Pop-Pop's turn. You have to give Pop-Pop a turn. Oh. You need to let Pop-Pop have a turn. What are you puppies doing?
Lily, you want a turn?
Autumn, are you at school? What are you doing? You can't be on YouTube at school. Autumn, I love you, but you can't be on YouTube at school.
Ooh, you
You're going to get in trouble, honey. Get off. Quick, quick, quick. Okay, it is Pop-Pop's turn. Come on. Okay. Come on, Jaxie. Good boy. All right, here we go. Here we go. Concentrate. Focus. Oh, I can't believe it. It's like there's little diamonds down there. That should have been a strike, a show.
You got split.
Let's see. What? You got robbed, babe. You got robbed. Thank you, D. I almost said Z. I put D and Zoe together and was going to say, or maybe I was going to say Z and Joey. I don't know. Ems, can you set up the pins, honey? Okay, thank you for the thumbs up, you guys. Ems, thank you for the thumbs up. Great job. All right. Okay. Okay. Oh. One more. Okay, don't knock him over now when you walk by. Be careful, careful, careful. Great job. Okay. Here's your ball. Jaxie, you come out. Come over here, Jax. You almost hit Jaxie. Oh, you're cheating. Okay. You're not cheating? Very good. Autumn, I'm telling you, you need to go back to your class. Are you at home or something? What is happening?
The dog. I can't.
Okay. Yeah, I know it's Autumn. You need to go to class. Okay. Go ahead, bowl. Oh, you blew on it. Okay, is that good luck? Yes. 1, 2, 3, go. It's not soccer, miss. Oh, it's free time, Autumn? Okay. I know, we are playing bowling with a basketball, aren't we? Okay. Okay, let's say goodbye now. Say subscribe to Mimi's channel. Oh gosh. Oh, your big sister said you better be good. Hi, Share Bright Light. How are you? Glad you're here. Let's see who else. Did I miss anyone? I know Marshall. So hi, Prince Daniel. I'm sorry I didn't see you. Okay, so she's been. Let me show you what else she's been doing today. Like it is. She's been having a day. Okay, having fun with this sand stuff. With all this. Look at her little setup. And Lily's just everywhere I am. This is full of all of her goodies. And taking a little break with her iPad. Hi, Robin. How are you? Good to see ya. And then this guy over here, Lightning, what are you doing? Destroying a toy as usual. Great. Super duper. Super duper. You need a haircut. Your mommy needs to get you a haircut. Jaxie Bear. Jaxie got a little haircut, but he needs another one again already. Bye, Autumn. Love you. We are doing well. Thank you. Thank you. Our puppies are cute, but they really need to be groomed. I know this. Oh, look at her ears. She's gonna fly. Let me go fly. Oh, careful. All right. Well, I gotta go bowl again because that was too fun. But I just wanted to show you what we were doing, guys. This is so fun. If you have a hallway, get you some pins, or you could even use 2-liter bottles, or the smaller ones. Actually, would probably make more sense. Put a little something in there to give them a little bit of weight, and get you a ball and go bowling. See y'all later.
That was adorable.
I was.
Aren't you happy now?
Cute little munchkins and the energy and the
That is my house every day.
That is so cool.
Oh boy. We'll see how cool it is tomorrow when I have 3 meetings. Zoom meetings.
Oh wow.
I know. I'll have to hide myself and lock the door.
Mr. Sparkles take care of the job?
Yes. He sure does.
Very cool. So she'll be having fun with Pop-Up.
Yes. Hey, what are you doing?
Gua Sha.
Is that a jade thingy or something?
No, this actually isn't, because I was a cheapskate and I was not going to spend the money for the real thing. And at Michael's, in the crafting where the clay tools were, this is a hard plastic used for when you're working like on a wheel or anything really with clay. But it's perfect. And I love it because it gets right into the sinuses and right along the orbit of the eyes and then underneath into the cheekbones and so just lovely little, and it moves blood flow, it moves the lymph. You have lymph channels, and so I do it first thing in the morning with my hands. I start with my knuckles, and I'll use usually like the flat here or the bump, and I'll start like right that, and I'll just go up and then give it a wiggle at the hairline and kind of come down a little bit, and then go out a little bit further and up and wiggle, and then I go outward and wiggle, and then to the just past the temple, and then I'll come in with the fingers at the bridge of the nose, and I'll come in and then out this way to the temple, and that clears the sinuses. It helps to move the fluid and pulls everything down, and so I have a routine that I do until I get it here into this area, because this is where your channel goes, and then to right here, this is where the lymph and the blood flow meet, so that the body can take the lymph out. And then I'll come across the collarbone, and then there's a spot here that kind of tender, and then just underneath that in your armpit, those are all lymph glands. And so I move it this way down to get the flow, because the only way that the upper body actually moves blood or moves the lymph is you got to mechanically do it for your face, but in here it's all breathing, so deep breath work. So after I do that, I just breathe a lot.
Well, breathing is good.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I like the Wim Hof method to a degree. I can do the no breathe for about 40 seconds. That's my extent. But
Holding my breath freaks me out. Like really, really. Yeah, I don't do that.
well, the Wim Hof, you're holding it, but you're not. You're inhaling and then exhaling, and you repeat it really fast. And you've really oxygenated the tissues and everything, and then you exhale, and at the bottom of the exhale, you just stay there. So you deplete,
Okay.
and you just stay there, and you try to extend the period of time before you inhale.
Is that associated with yoga at all?
No, this guy, they call him the Iceman. And I know a lot of people that practice it and they feel mentally clear and just really good health-wise, total body. I am not diligent with it. I prefer Qigong. And so I use that. And I'll do Qigong for moving blood and all of that and energy and yada, yada, yada.
Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Figure out anything to make 63 is coming up in a few months.
Oh my.
So it's like I'm going to, and I keep waiting, and we talk about law of attraction every now and then, and it's like keep wondering, so when is it going to feel like old? How do you know you're old? Because I can think back to 40, doesn't feel any different then. I can think back to 35, doesn't feel any different then. Sure, there's a couple, oohs and ahs, but for the most part, mentally, emotionally, and physically, I still feel the same. So I don't get it. I have never comprehended people. I feel so old. It's like, what does old feel like?
It hurts. It hurts. That's what it feels like over here.
But I hurt. I've been beat up, bashed up, left for dead, and it hurt. But
that's different than just waking up in the morning and just hurting, just because.
well, I mean, but I felt, just because. But I know that it's really. I mean, there's some really cool people out there that you go and you listen to them, and their stories of how being paralyzed, they walk. They were given no chance of any kind of life. They were going to live as a vegetable, and they talk and they walk and they teach people things. And it's like, it's amazing how powerful you really are, how this gift that we were given, it's ours to live in the name and be the breath and the spirit, but it was given to us. So we're supposed to do something with it, not mistreat it.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, and hey, some of those guys live to be 9,000 years old.
9,000?
Oh yeah, there's Methuselah lived to be 9,000. Miriam lived to be 126. Was it one of the E guys? I can't remember the name now. Wasn't Elijah. But there's a lot of them that they were in their 300s and 400 years of age. That was a normal thing. And then all of a sudden it went down to 50, 60 years of age.
Well, I remember the hundreds, but I don't remember no thousands.
Methuselah lived to be 9,000 years old.
What? I've never heard that.
And then, was it 900? Maybe it's 900. And I'm thinking of Mel Brooks.
Mark, we need a fact check.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute.
Just kidding.
And the hubby's asleep, so I can't ask Mr. Bible scholar. Mel Brooks did a skit with another guy, and he was the 9,000-year-old man. Maybe that's the 9,000, but Methuselah was 900. You know what? We have internet.
Oh yeah.
We can just go, how old was Methuselah?
Okay.
He died at the age of 969 years.
Well, dang. That's crazy.
Everybody's repeating the same thing, 969. But then here's one. Wait a minute. Okay, no, that's a tree. Never mind. It says Methuselah is a 4,852-year-old Great Basin bristlecone pine. And I'm like, what, huh? Oh, it's a tree. It's like, that's no way to talk about somebody. Yeah, so 969 years is like, wow.
Okay, I'm going to take my collagen supplement now from Dollar Tree. Let's see what that does to me. Oh, that thing you were talking about that you do to your face.
Oh, yeah?
They do have a jade roller at Dollar Tree.
Yeah, I've tried that, but it doesn't work the same. It doesn't seem to work the same. I mean, it would for just moving the lymph straight across, and you do want to put some kind of oil on your skin. I've used jojoba oil, coconut oil. I've got an African nut oil that I can't remember the name of. I'll have to go look at the bottle for you. And I really love that one. It's so good on the skin.
Have you heard of dry brushing your face?
Dry brushing is excellent. Start at your feet and work all the way up to the heart.
Oh, well, I only do it to my face and my neck.
Oh, no, dry brushing is great for your whole body needs to exfoliate.
Yeah.
But it's also, it moves lymph and it helps the blood flow, the circulation. So you start at your feet and you go up your legs and then up your belly and back and then from the arms into your chest. So you're always moving this way and this way and this way. I would use a different brush on the face because.
Right. Well, I only have one, so it's going on my face. For now.
But I mean, this was cheaper than buying the real gua sha, and I can't bend it. I mean, if I really like, I can, that's probably just me feeling give, but it works great. And like, I noticed I was getting kind of a sinus infection because from going from cold and then getting heat finally, and then the electric going off and being back into the cold, that my sinuses were saying, we're not happy with you. And so just the right side is bugging me. So I just keep
say that to me every morning. They're not happy with me. Mark, what are you painting tonight?
Mountain scene.
You love your mountains, don't you?
Might have a waterfall to it too.
Ooh, yes.
Mark's inspired me to join them on Tuesday and pick up my watercolors.
Oh, good. You know, I ought to get some. Okay, now wait a minute. I have a question for anyone who knows the answer. When you use watercolor paints, what kind of canvas should you use? Like, is a stretch canvas okay for watercolors?
Watercolors should be done on paper.
Dang. You can't ever do watercolors on a canvas?
You won't get the effect that watercolor is supposed to give. You can't get the transparencies. You can't get the layers. The bloom effect and stuff that you get in watercolor, it requires watercolor paper, not just standard paper.
Okay. So, Mark, you're using acrylics?
Right now I'm using oils.
Oh, okay. What are you going to use on Tuesday?
Probably just oil paints because I don't have enough acrylics. But I get all my paints online because
So
my
you're
sister works
fancy. Mark is
Huh.
fancy with his paints.
for it.
So you don't get your paint at Dollar Tree, is what you're saying? Okay.
I haven't been to Dollar Tree in a long, long time. I need to do my 5 things from Dollar Tree, but I haven't been. My niece had a baby, and now my sister went
Yeah.
up to Oklahoma to see the
Oh,
baby.
okay. So what are they didn't she bring you dinner? Doesn't she bring you dinner every night?
My brother does right
Oh, is
before
he
he went
here?
to church.
I mean,
Mhm.
not here, but did he go with her?
No, no. He stays here because he's a pastor
Okay.
at a church, and so that's where he had to go tonight.
Okay.
Goes on, like on well, he pastors like on Sundays, and then he goes to like Wednesday night for a meeting. I guess is what they call them. I haven't been, I haven't been to church in a long, long time. They're just trying to keep me safe.
Yeah, I know. Well, now I heard that because you're in Texas, right? Both of you.
Right.
And your governor is like, oh, everything's open now, 100%.
Yep.
What do you think of that?
I'm glad.
You're glad?
Well, I mean, we've got 2 states, South Dakota, and South Dakota has never shut down. They have the lowest amount of casualties. They've
Hmm.
never shut down. They haven't closed any businesses, and they had no mask mandates. And Florida's another one that they did fall in, and then they came back out. But South Dakota's the only one.
Florida's been a hot mess.
Yeah, Florida is weird.
I mean,
I'm
yeah.
not sure if I like DeSantis or not. He's got some things that are good and some things that aren't. But I like Nomi or Nome or whatever her name is. She's very in touch with her people, and she's very much about the people. And I like that. I like that she cares about the people, not that she's paying anybody lip service. So, I can appreciate her. There's others that I don't even want to think about.
South Dakota had the second highest rate of cases.
No, they didn't.
I'm looking at the news right now.
I just listened to them 2 nights ago, I guess it was, or 3 nights ago, and they had the lowest.
February 3rd, it says, well, this is the Insider. Who knows? See, this is what I'm saying. Like
Yes,
where do you find the real news anymore?
Well, it's really tough. You have to go outside of the country pretty much because
Wow.
no, seriously, because our news is very biased.
But do you hear how crazy that sounds? You have to go outside. You have to go outside. I believe you. But
yeah,
do you
know?
It's ridiculous that we would have to go outside of our own country to get accurate news about our country.
It is. But think of it this way. Here they've got an image they're trying to paint, and everybody else is observing and going, this is what we're seeing is going on here. This is what we're finding out. There's so much more at hand than what the average person knows. And it's imperative to follow the money. Who is paying whose bills?
Right.
Because then you get to discover these are the people who are paying the puppeteers.
Yeah.
And they have an agenda.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden things look totally different because it's like, but wait a minute. It's just, it's disappointing. And I wanted to thank you and Mark again for last night. I really appreciated that. The care and the love and the well wishes and the prayers.
We love you and you're so welcome.
I will share because I think I can do it without breaking down, maybe.
Okay.
But there's a friend that got his shot, his vaccination on Monday. Monday night, he was in the hospital. Tuesday, he's paralyzed. He's lost most of his vision. And that was yesterday about 3:00 in the afternoon that I got that update.
That was just the first dose, or did he get the one that's 2?
That was the first dose.
Oh my gosh.
But see, there's so much that people are so afraid of this virus, and I have connections that I firmly believe they are lettered, paper-written doctors and virologists that tell me and share with me information. It's nice to get around. And I've gotten to see things that most people don't get to see. And it's cool, but at the same time, what do you do with it? Because nobody's going to believe you, because they don't believe them. They don't believe the doctors that come out and say, this isn't what it seems, and this isn't that. And even the ones that we look up to give us 5 different stories. And
Well, yeah,
what do you believe?
I know people in the medical field too that have said that it's, they've seen horrible things with COVID. So,
but that's the problem, is unfortunately, even some of them, I've got a few people that I dearly love with all my heart, and they're medical, and they say the same rhetoric that we all hear. And then I come to find out that through taking 10 swabs straight out of the package and putting them into the what do they call it? I'm going to call it evidence bag because I can't think of the right term, but put it into the bag and then ship it off, that they came back testing positive all 10 swabs, and yet they weren't tested on anybody. They just went straight from the bag into the mailing bag, and that was it.
Yeah, and the testing, I think, is a whole different beast than the actual virus.
Yeah.
People are legitimately really suffering and dying from the virus. Okay. But there's definitely a problem with that testing.
There's a definite problem, but there's also a definite problem with what some of the hospitals are doing. This woman that I think you met her once on my channel, Angela. She came to a lot of the almost to all of the silent minutes, and her cousin's husband died of a heart attack, and they registered as COVID.
Yeah.
And she wants to sue, but she can't, because they put it in the law. Huh? Did
he have COVID?
No, he didn't. He went into the hospital with chest pains, and 3 days later he died from a heart attack. Well, he was having a heart attack. She knew he was having a heart attack because it wasn't his first one.
Yeah.
And they grabbed him, took him in, made her stay out, wouldn't let her see him. The last time she got to see him was through a window. They couldn't even touch, and he died from a heart attack. He didn't have COVID. He had no COVID symptoms, and they put it on the death certificate, COVID. And she's so mad. And she said that, if she could sue him, she would. And they
didn't even give him a COVID test?
Don't know if they did.
We don't even believe it anyway.
COVID. He had no symptoms. He had nothing. He was having a heart attack. He died from the heart attack. You can't say the heart attack was caused by COVID. It doesn't work that way. It's only respiratory. And she just, I haven't even asked Angela about her. It's just,
I've heard stories like that too before.
I've heard all kinds of really bizarre ones, but when you actually know the people,
then
you start to go, oh my goodness, what's going on here? Why all the lies?
Well, I don't know why we'd expect anything different from, the inception of this country.
I don't know. I guess I had faith.
But
I believed that this was the country for the people, by the people.
But it
And
never has been.
it was supposed to be, but it
Yeah,
stopped.
well, when you enslave people, that's out the window.
I'm sorry, what?
When you enslave people, that's out the window. That was the end of that right there, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, everybody's enslaved.
No. I have never been enslaved. Like what I'm
Technically,
talking
we
about.
are if you really look at some of the stuff that they're trying to do.
No,
it's
no,
semantic.
I'm not going to compare my privileged lifestyle to actual enslaved people. I can't do that.
No, it's a different type. But the same token, a lot of people have been forgotten that were slaves long before the other slaves, long before the emancipation. The first ones brought over here were the Scots and the Irish,
Mhm.
men, women, and children.
My understanding of that was it was a different kind of
They were
Right.
still slaves. They were bought and paid for.
was it to like a work off a debt or something like that? Not that it makes it okay, but there was some different circumstance.
They were trying to get rid of a whole bunch of them out of the country, out of England, and they were all brought over here. But they were slaves. They were treated the same way. They were treated like dirt. They had no rights.
Mm-hmm.
The children were taken away and sold off. It's heinous.
Yes, yes, it is.
And then, we can even go back further in history because it's not new.
No.
Really not new. Wonder when man's going to get a clue.
I don't know, but I am certain that God did not intend us to treat each other like that.
It's interesting when you look at history and all the things, like we were talking, just a little while ago about age and the aches and pains. And I was thinking of I think it's Achilles. No, it wasn't Achilles. Can't think of his name, but I can see him. Odysseus, was it? Goodness. They did the movie The 300 about him.
It sounds familiar, but I don't know.
He was 60 years old when he was in that battle. If you ever saw The 300, which was a fantastic movie, definitely a lot of stuff blown out of proportion. But then, hey, that's a movie. But he was 60 years old when he was out there fighting, basically naked with a sword and a shield.
Wow.
Yeah, they didn't think much about armor.
You would think that would want to be,
Yeah.
protected there.
I wasn't going to go there.
Just saying.
Yeah, that's all right, because I had an image. It wasn't pretty. And
Yes,
I'm not
Brenda, I know.
I'm blushing. Ah. Because there was Homer's Iliad and the Odyssey. He had the Odyssey. What was his name? Oh, it's going to drive me nuts. But yeah, he was 60. The Spartans were extremely rough and tough. Even the women. It was harsh living, but they were all just kind of a warrior people. And they started them very, very young with that towing the line and following stuff. Cruel, though. I think they were cruel. I guess because, we don't think that children should be raised so heavy-handedly.
Yeah, it's interesting how that has changed too
Yeah.
throughout the years.
But I remember growing up, I went to live with my horse trainer and his wife and my three foster brothers. And Blake was 6, Eric was 8, and Mike was 10, and then I was 16. And we had a big ranch that we all had duties after school and on the weekends, cleaning out stalls, feeding 75 head of horses, watering everything. And Blake was 6, and he was right out there with us,
Wow.
Throwing hay. And, there was no, you're too young to do this.
And I mean, just in my opinion, that doesn't seem like a terrible thing.
No, gives them strength and character.
Yeah. It's only, terrible when like the kid's not getting adequate sleep or nourishment,
Yeah.
or protection from the elements,
Or love.
Especially. Yeah. But hard work is good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know why.
Responsibility is good.
I mean, it's actually not good if we don't have them learn that, which my kids never did.
And I'm talking to tomorrow's my youngest daughter's birthday. And I was talking to her today about my grandson, her son, who's 15 now. And I was like, I thought he was 12. And then all of a sudden I have this wake up call. Oh my goodness, wait a minute, he's 15. What the heck happened to 3 years? But he's sadly overweight.
Oh.
He has no drive, no ambition.
Oh no.
And, and it's like, and my daughter's point of view is at 18, he's out of the house.
Well, good luck with that.
It's, that's what I was thinking, but I wasn't going to say that. Her husband, on the other hand, is like, no, 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 no. And she's like, he's going to get a job as soon as he can afford a car. He's going to get it, she's got all of this stuff planned out. Now, she was, not raised to be as lazy as she's let him be.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same token, it's kind of late to all of a sudden put this discipline on him when you've allowed him to spend his entire life in front of a computer or a TV with a Nintendo.
Sometimes technology is just the devil in disguise.
Well, it becomes a babysitter. How many times have you been to a restaurant and see little kids sitting there playing with the phone, or the kids getting upset, so they hand the kid the phone to play a game to be quiet?
Listen, you saw my grandbaby went right to that iPad.
Oh, is that what that? I couldn't tell what that was.
Yeah. But now, listen, if we didn't use that ever, and maybe it's because we didn't introduce it, first of all. I mean, her parents did, but anyway, that girl is nonstop. You saw her.
Oh yeah,
she's like that. She's like that all day, every day. There's really no slowdown. When I try to cuddle up with her and read a book, she's still bouncing all over the place. So it's like the only time that child is still is when she's buckled in somewhere into her car seat, or if she's got her iPad. And don't get me wrong, we don't use it very much. It's just a few minutes here and there at our house, but I kind of can't imagine just not having it. I don't know. And it's sad. It's really sad because my kids didn't have that when they were 2.
Yeah, neither did mine. Nisha did start on a computer at my mother's house. I didn't have one. So when I'd go visit my mom, Nisha would be on the computer at 3. I remember her standing there with her tongue sticking out the side of her mouth, one of these things, while she's doodling, and she was painting. She wasn't playing any games. She was in a paint program on my mom's Macintosh and was making pictures. So that was artistic, and I was okay with that.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a computer at home, so she didn't have that, to further distract her. She had other stuff. She had drawings and crayons and whatnot, and arts and crafts or whatever, or bigger sisters to get her in trouble. But it was just, I don't know. And then I look at myself, and I spend almost a good portion of my time in front of the computer here.
Oh, that's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah, but I'm like working on. I'm visiting all my family streams. I'm with you and with Pink, and
Right.
then I'm trying to develop my stuff and I've been good. I have notebooks, and I have been writing and planning and plotting and trying to formulate the vision, because I really enjoyed speaking with everybody on the silent stream, on the silent minute, and I know it probably sounds a little hokey. I love feeling spirit move me to talk. And so it's just kind of like, where do you begin?
I don't know, because these kids, these babies, okay, babies are now growing as they see their parents' face in a screen all the time.
Yes.
And not just their parents, but everyone else around them too, whether it be a phone or a tablet or a computer. And it doesn't matter to them what the person's doing on it. They just know that, oh, this is what you do. You look at a screen. I mean, think about that. They are sponges. They learn how to act by what they see around them.
Oh yeah, it's fascinating. I got to sit in a few lectures on that, about brain development and things, and to know that the first year and a half, year to 2 years probably of a child's life, the brain waves are in delta, which we know delta is sleep, and that's what they do a lot, is sleep.
Right.
It's go and sleep and go and sleep, and then when the brain waves start to turn, it goes into theta. And so that's our dream state. That's also hypnosis. And so, how do you instill in somebody's mind, suggestions, is when you put them in hypnosis. And so you've got literally from not conception, but from birth on up to about 7 years of age, that cats fighting. So, I'm hoping that's a cat fight and not a critter fighting a cat. Yes, Walter.
Oh gosh, that's
Walter
cute.
Such Nelson. Come here. Yes. Oh, he says, I know I'm in trouble now. Come here. It's Gracie Ann. She knows she's in trouble. And Walter Such Nelson. But anyway, the brain is just fascinating. There was I'm paraphrasing this because I don't remember if it was the Catholic Church or the Jesuit, but basically the concept was, give us your children from birth to 7, and we will show you, we will show you the man. And it was kind of basically saying that we can teach these children to be this kind of a person, and through that whole 7 years of their life, that formulates, because their personality is formed by 5.
Yeah.
And so they learn language, they learn behavior, and then, like we were talking a couple nights, I think it was last week with you guys, I mentioned about shadow work, and And, and the shadow gets formed in those early years. The first time a child is made to feel disapproved of, like, I'm going to use my dog, Walter being a little baby, little boy, and being very, very emotional, and, and and here he comes sitting up next to me like, Mommy, I'm sorry. But so emotional, so tenderhearted, so loving. And then somebody's like, big boys don't cry. And, and all this other stuff. Well, all of a sudden they're going, my behavior is not acceptable. I am not accepted. And there the shadow starts. And so all of this stuff, we're not good enough. I was raised with a firm message that I was not fit to breathe air.
Oh, geez.
I had a very abusive stepfather that I was not taught that he was my stepfather, but there was a part of me that always said, that's not my father. And so apparently I was right, because my mom told me at 16, yeah, you're always saying Tom's not your dad. Yeah, well, he's not. It's like, okay, so my mother was not a very good mother. But that's all right. Still loved her. But anyway, yes, Walter, you're still in trouble for making noise and scaring me. You made my hair stand up.
My little grandbaby started crying the other day when two of our dogs they got real serious. Like, they were playing, but then they got really serious, and they got really like entangled in one another and were really, and it was kind of terrifying. And whenever they do that, which is not often, and it only lasts for a few seconds, but it is pretty terrifying. And she was just crying. She was so scared.
Oh,
yeah.
Hard to think back to what our perceptions were. What was our point of view, being so small, being so low to the ground?
I just remember telling my grandma's dogs, because we didn't have one. Well, and we did, but I don't remember that. So my youngest memory of a dog was at my grandmother's house, and I would say the dog's name was Snooper, and I would mimic my grandparents and say, Shup, Smooker, not Schmooker, Shup, Snooper, which now I can hardly even say, so I don't know how I said it then, but I meant shut up. I would tell them to shut up.
That is so funny. That was our word, shup.
My grandbaby, and I don't know where she heard this, she said to one of the dogs, Subbit, you're pissing me off. I was like, oh my gosh. I was trying so hard not to laugh.
Oh, yeah, and you're like, that's so adorable.
But it's not.
Yeah. My mother told, I have no recollection of my life before age 7. And my mother told me a story of me being like, I don't know, maybe 14 months old, maybe a little bit older. And I guess I learned the word, oh shit. But I did it at the right times.
Oh, look at
like,
you.
Drop my bottle. Oh shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I just she just kind of looked at me, and I'm just like, I don't remember any of that. I wasn't there. That was somebody else. That wasn't me. But yeah. Yeah. And I had no patience for loud children. She took me with her. Another one of her stories was that she took me with her to a restaurant with her girlfriends from work. And we were in one booth down at one end, and I was in my high chair, and I was not even 2. And all the way at the other end was another little boy in his high chair, but he was making all kinds of racket and everything else. And the women are all, typical 3 women, da-da-da-da-da. And finally, I guess I stood up in the high chair and I went, be quiet.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was like, I really wish I could know that. It would be just, my mom had told me so many stories, and the problem is I don't know if any of them are true.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I don't remember either. And then there's a lot of memories that are so vivid, but just like seconds of them. And
Yes.
they just don't even seem relevant. Yet for some reason they are. It's so weird. Like, why do I remember this? But not some other things that people tell me about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm right there with you, because there are, like I said, I have no memory of my life before age 7, except for 4 couple-minute snapshots, and of course, none of them are good.
Yeah.
But it's like, why can't I remember? I can't remember playing in the sand. I can't remember dogs. I can't remember the beach. My mom would show me pictures. I was 18 months old, I guess. I think she said I was 18 months old. I had really long blonde hair, golden blonde, and it was up in a ponytail and, just hanging there. And I'm sitting there playing in the sand. I look at that child. I can't tell that's me. I don't emotionally feel any attachment to it either. Like, oh yeah, I can tell that's me. It looks like me. It doesn't. None of it does. It's like, I don't know if these are really me or pictures, out of a magazine. But yeah, it's just really strange stuff. I have a very bizarre life. Very, very bizarre.
Same. Same. Oh, that's funny.
That's why we're in each other's life. So I firmly believe we are placed in each other's life for a reason. It is either to give a message, to receive a message, to help each other along the path, growing, and also to see reflections of ourselves. You guys were talking about it last night, and I would have loved to have, addressed it. It's something that I learned from my teachers years ago, decades ago, and that I've taught my clients, is that when you have someone in your life that is there for a specific reason, and maybe not the one that you're hoping for, or you don't like them, or you like them, but there's something about them that bugs the peanuts out of you. And yeah, the peanuts out of you. And so, you have to stop and look at that, and it's like, okay, that really bugs me. So where inside of me is that reflection? Where is it's not going to be the exact mirror. It's like a funhouse mirror. You go there and that's you looking back at you, but the head's like this and the neck's like this and the shoulders are like this, and and everything is all out of proportion. Your eyes are this big, your mouth is this big. And that's the way the universe or God brings them to you. Is the only way you're going to recognize that you've got this huge pimple here is if it's looking like it's this big. And I have one, I find it humorous, example of that. I was driving. I just met this guy. We dated only 2 weeks, and he was already trying to get me to move in with him. I hadn't even kissed the guy.
Oh my God.
And, my daughter was 3 years old, and it was like, no, I got my own place, and I don't want to give up my apartment to go move in with you, who was living over a garage. It was like, yeah. And so I was driving to his work because he had a collection of my books, my art books and stuff, my own originals. And I was thinking about him for some reason, and then I get this Geppetto kind of, the V8 thing. I could have had a V8. And I realized he's so needy, so cloyingly sweet. Oh my God, you're just being suffocated needy. And then I was like, I'm needy. nothing like that, but I'm still needy. There's a part of me that was like, I needed something. I needed clarification. I needed, validation. I needed somebody just to make me feel wanted. That filling the gap kind of thing. And I was just like, wow, I get it. And it was literally a very physical body sensation of, I got it. Aha. And so I'm driving to where he worked. He was a mechanic. And I pulled up and I got out and he saw me coming up. So he quickly kind of like tried to keep me from going inside for a minute. And I saw that his whole neck was a ring of hickeys. And I just smiled. Boy, did I get out of that one.
Right.
And I just was like, where's my books? He said, in the office. So I went in the office. I grabbed my books. I'm still smiling. It didn't faze me. I didn't need to come out with, you cheated on me, because there was nothing emotionally there anyway. And it was just like, I got the message. Cool. And he literally vanished off the face of the earth. Even removed from my awareness, because like if I drove down that street, I never noticed the building anymore. It didn't jump out at me, oh, that's where he works. It just was like I'd hit the road. It's like, where was it? I didn't even see it. Didn't show up where I worked, because I managed a bar. He didn't show up there. He didn't show up at any of the local restaurants. He wasn't in the grocery stores, because I'd run into him bunches of times in other places. It was like he literally poofed. And it was just, my teacher told me that people will come in, and when you receive the message, if there's no other messages, no other lessons to learn, they'll just disappear. Whatever maybe you have a fight, they have an opportunity that has them moving out of the city, the state, the country, whatever, or they die, whatever, but they literally vanish from your life. There is a separation.
Yeah.
And it was just, I've seen that at play so many times in my life. When I finally had the aha moment, that went away. Whatever that was, it went away. They got a job, they moved, they met somebody else, they whatever. And it just made me kind of hyper attuned, maybe, to recognizing that with other people, that they'll tell a story and I'll hear that message, what's in there that they may or may not be seeing. It's just it's been lovely. I really say it's been lovely. With my mom, again, she developed West Nile encephalitis, and I had to bring her here to Texas from California. And I had to take her one day up to the Social Security office. And there was a woman sitting there who was so angry. You could just feel that seething just coming off of her. But it was laced with all this sadness. And she had just lost her husband. And she was telling me her story, and, just speaking to a perfect stranger and telling me that her husband had just died. And it's like, she had had such a tough time trusting people. And along comes this man, and this man taught her how to live again, how to find joy in life. And then he leaves me. And that to me was, you got the lesson, you got the message. Of course, I wasn't going to say that. And, and how do you put that in kind, gentle words? But I told her, I said, don't let go of the gift he gave you. He wants you happy. Be happy. Enjoy life. You learned how to live again. Don't stop living. And it was just one of those moments that it was kind of like right in your face. And I think too, that was probably a message for me, because with having to go through all the stuff with my mom, my life was kind of stopped. And so, I forgave my mom for her stuff, and I carried her until she passed.
Did you ever talk about the stuff, or did you just forgive her?
She had no mental capacity to talk about.
Okay. So never in your life did you ever talk about it, the stuff?
She would tell me some things, and I just kind of look at her quizzically. I've always been one to, I guess, be a punching bag, from a literal sense to just emotionally. If you feel a need to lash out, I'll stand there. I can take it. I'm big. I don't take it to heart. And she did a lot of lashing out and just a lot of weird stuff that I never understood, but I never felt compelled to ask why. The impulse was never there. It was just like, go ahead and say what you got to say, and that's fine. It's your opinion, I guess. I don't know.
But it impacted you in some way because you found the need to forgive. You don't have to forgive if nothing bothers you. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Knowing that somebody did something, whether it bothers you or not, you can still forgive them of that because it cuts your ties with them. Forgiveness isn't for them. It's not for, making them feel better. It's for you to be released from any of the chains. You're not forgetting what they did to you. And, I always knew that my mom, even though she was a bad mother, she did the best she could do with the tools she had. It's kind of like handing, a mechanic a toothbrush and a pencil. They're only going to be able to do so much. And, she was the one stuck with a pencil and a toothbrush. She didn't have a full toolbox. Her grandmother, or her mother, was a piece of work too. So she was just a reflection. And I knew that at a very young age, in my teens. She was just a reflection of her upbringing. She had no finesse in that. But, I don't remember my mom telling me she loved me. I don't remember her ever hugging me until I was an adult. Till I was in my 30s.
Same.
Yeah, see, told you, mirror. Haha. Yeah, but it's just it's a very interesting path. I remember fighting with her once when I was I think I was 17. And it was one of the few moments that I really had it up to here with everything that was being done to me. And she came back with this line that, well, God only gives you what makes you stronger, or something like that. And I cursed at her and said, how strong was I supposed to be? I didn't know I was being made to be Wonder Woman. And I had enough. My teacher said at age 17, I'd been through more stuff than any adult he knew in my high school.
Yeah.
So, it's a journey. It's all a journey. And all of these bumps and bruises are but tools in our handbag, because we can learn to forgive. We can learn to recognize that pain in somebody else. And if we can love unconditionally, regardless of what happened, that's what we're supposed to do anyway. I'm not a fan of the notion of turning the other cheek, per se, but that effectively is what it's been my entire life. It's just smile, send love to the person, and go on.
Yeah. I require some reciprocation.
I'm not going to say I didn't have some moments that, but it's usually never been about me. It was always about somebody else. I was very justice oriented. If you were picking on somebody less fortunate, I remember high school kids, they took this retarded boy and literally threw him at me while I was walking down the hall to get him to try to kiss me, because I was from a LA school into a country school out in the middle of nowhere. And so it was just, and my reaction was to backhand this person that grabbed me. And then I went and I got in the jocks' faces and basically let them know what kind of small little boys they were, sending somebody who didn't know better, and encouraging him to be physical and lay hands on another person without permission. It was just.
I bet they didn't know what to do with that.
No, they didn't. Yeah, 10th grade, I got friends in high places, so I got to be on the senior lawn, and I was sitting at lunchtime, on the senior lawn with a couple people, and these jocks were causing their grief again, and I stood up in the middle of the lawn, and I don't even remember what I said, but they quickly pulled me down to shut me up so that I wouldn't get the jocks to come over or something. I didn't care. I would have taken them all on. I was such an ornery girl. Yeah. Good times.
Yes.
Look
That
at you.
reminds me of my bullying story. Did you hear my bullying story?
No, I think I did, but I don't remember. So refresh my memory.
Well, there were a lot of them, but the one where I had finally had enough. I mean, I was terrified to go to school. Like, I was faking sick so I wouldn't have to go, the whole nine. And one day, I don't know what got into me, but I just was tired of it. We were in PE class, and the girl was sitting across the gym from me, making her faces. And I finally was like, yeah, you know what? We're fighting.
Yeah.
And then we fought, and I got suspended, and she never bothered me again.
Yeah. I had a few that were that way. And of course, because it was just, yeah, funny. But, all of them were dealing with their own insecurities of one thing or another.
Oh, absolutely. But that, as a kid, I don't know. I'm just not going to judge myself for being the child that I was, because I was a child and I was dealing with all of the things that I was dealing with.
Yeah.
And understanding them through my lens. And I was being bullied. I was being bullied to the point that I hated myself, and I didn't want to go to school, and I didn't want to look at anyone. I wanted to be invisible. And so that moment when I finally, like I said, I have no idea where that came from, but where I finally had the strength to stand up for myself, I'm proud of it.
Yeah, got backbone.
I was no longer going to be a victim, at least with her.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I fully realize she obviously, I don't think you become a bully if you have like a happy, everything's going great and everything's,
yeah,
healthy and wonderful.
What you got going, Mark?
Oh, y'all talking about
bullies and stuff. Um, I had some bullies in school, and a lot of times they would bully me because it's due to what I have, which means, I went to school because I was in special ed, and I have, I told Pink about this before. I had what you call dyslexia. And dyslexia is just more like a learning problem. It's all it is. You can't catch it. So in school, they used to bully on me all the time, like every single day. And one day, I had 2 incidents happen to me at school. One was the teacher left out of the classroom one day. And so, this was just like in special ed. And I was sitting there doing my work. And I always kept a picture of Jesus with me and just put it in my pocket. So I pulled it out and look at it and look at his face. Like, I can sit here and do my work. This kid comes by. He's real smarty. He says, well. He says, what are you looking at? I said, I'm looking at a friend of mine. And then he looks at it and he said, oh, he said, I thought it was your daddy. I said, no, you got it all wrong. I said, he's a friend of mine. And I said, he lives inside of me. And he says, okay. He says, why don't you stand up and be a man about this? I said, oh, you challenged me to a fight. He said, yep. He says, I want you to stand up and see if you can be a man. And I said, okay, I'll do that. I stood up and there's a whole bunch of students in there. And I'm like, well, I'm a little bit outnumbered here, but I don't care. So I drew back my fist and I was getting ready to punch him and watched the teacher. And he said, hey, he said, Mark, he was about to punch me. And the teacher says, I wish he would have. Then I thought, well, if I had punched this kid, I'll probably get expelled. Then I don't know what would happen to him. And then there was another incident that happened to me. I was in PE one day. I didn't tell the story to Pete. Well, I was in PE out on track. I had to, walk track every day. And so I told the coach, I said, I have to use the bathroom. He says, hey, son, he says, go there by that door. He said, the door is unlocked. Just go in there and come back here out in the field. I said, okay, I'll do that. I went inside and never forget this. There was several kids that day in this building. And so I opened up the door, went in, and this boy shoved me up against the wall, just pushed me, literally pushed me up against a concrete wall. He said, you're not going anywhere. I said, oh, you talking to me? He said, yeah, I'm talking to you. He says, you're not going anywhere. I said, well, what if I go right out that door? What you going to do? Well, the next thing I know, he pulls out a knife. The blade on that knife was about that long. Goes up to my throat. And he said, what you going to do now? I looked at him. I said, well, let me see. He said, man, he says, he said, what if I cut you? What would you do? I looked him right straight in the face, kind of stood up to him. I said, you want to know what I would do? I'll tell you what I would do. I would just go home to be with the Lord. The kid looked at me, like his eyes got so big. He said, you would go where? I said, I think you heard me. I said, I will go home to be with the Lord. He said, let me let you off on a warning. I said, what warning? He said, you be quiet. He said, I'm going to let you off on a warning. He said, don't you dare say anything. I said, okay, I won't. Then walks a coach, and coach says, what's going on in here? I wouldn't say anything. I was so frightened, I couldn't say anything. And then he told me don't even mention it to the principal. I said, okay, I won't mention it to the principal then. I could not fight this kid. Matter of fact, I was told when all this was going on, I was told deep on the inside, just like a nice, soothing voice. He said, son, he said, I'm here with you. He said, listen, he said, that boy is not going to do nothing to you. He said, but I don't think you can fight him. I said, well, I don't want to fight him. I said, because I don't think that would be the nicest thing for me to do. He said, son, he says, I want you to know that my father as an angel standing right next to you. He said that angel is protecting you from that boy. Well, if I never told my mom about this story. And so one night I had a dream. I dreamed that Michael, the archangel, came into my room. And he was talking to me. He says, hey, Mark. I said, hey, you're Michael, you're the archangel. He says, yes, son. He says, I am. He said, I was sent here to give you a message. I said, what message is that? He said, son, he says, he said, you forgave these people, right? I said, yeah, I forgave them. He said, good. He says, because all those people was taken care of. He said, but you don't want to know how they was taken care of. He said, I want you to do something. I said, what's that? He says, I want you to get this stuff out of your mind. He said, just let it go. Just let it go. I said, can you tell me something? He said, sure. What do you want to know? He was real, in the dream, he's real tall, had a sword in his hand. I said, why did that boy do that to me? Is it because what I am, or is it because I have dyslexia? He said, I really don't know. He said, it might be both, or it could be where you have dyslexia. I never told my mom. I keep a photo of her right next to me. Put a photo out one night, and I cried. I told her, I said, I never tell you that story because I was afraid. But I'm not afraid no more. Because God was entering that situation for me. He's taking care of that situation. I could have to fight him It could have been like David in the Bible days when David fought that giant. But I'm like, no, I can't. I can't do that. I cannot. I cannot fight nobody because I don't want to get expelled. But I was hearing what y'all were talking about bullies, about being bullied at school.
That's a very powerful story.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Michael's my favorite.
Michael.
I call on him a lot.
Oh, I like Michael.
He was there when I was little. I know that he was there. I remember because my birth name was Michelle. I used to take such pride at being named Michelle because it was the feminine of Michael. It was made in God's image, and I just loved it. But I remember him sitting on my bed when I was like 8 years old. And that was even in my adult years, I could close my eyes and just think of him and feel the wings wrap around me and hug me. That was always my safe space.
I can miss him. Yeah, I was I did a live earlier today, and so for me, I've seen a lot of angels before. Most of them are mostly messengers I've seen. But if they have a story, then hey, I'll be back. I'm picking up my Hey, hey y'all. I'm back picking up my doctor. Oh, daughter from the doctor. I don't understand that. I don't understand that comment that Crystal put in there. Do you see that comment?
I'm looking because I completely forgot about the chat, and you usually pop it out so I can see it, and I didn't.
If I knew that, I could pray for her.
Oh, she picked up her daughter from the doctor.
Oh, from the doctor. Okay. Just a quick question. I was trying to figure out how to read that chat myself.
I'm sorry that I completely spaced on everybody in the chat. Mimi and I were having such a driving conversation. It was wonderful.
That's fine. I could hear y'all while I'm speaking also.
Oh, I know. And I was just watching you make those strokes. And my goodness, the stuff you do.
Yeah, my mom was the same way. When I was trying to teach her, she just let me say, son, she said, I just like to watch you paint.
I haven't figured out what I'm going to paint. Are you going to do a theme for the night, or are you just going to let everybody do what they want to do?
I guess I just let y'all do whatever you want. That's what my daughter was listening to y'all on 2X. That's amazing. Oh, thank you, Crystal.
Much love to you, Crystal, sweetheart. Well, I don't know whatever will come up, and I may even we'll see what happens. We'll just see what happens.
Let's see what happens there. Pink's really excited about it.
I know it's going to be great when she gets out there with her stuff. I saw
Like
Oh, at
her.
five below had little easels, little wooden easels, probably about 12 inches, for $5. And it was like, but because
Yeah,
most
those
of the
are
stuff
cute. I
don't,
want one of those.
well, I would recommend probably getting it from, Hobby Lobby or Michael's. They have about the same size or a little bit bigger for maybe $20. I don't know. They just look a little bit more substantial than these $5 ones. But I thought about it. I did get a calligraphy set because I used to do calligraphy, and it's like, you know what? I need to practice again. And it was cheaper than going and buying a new set of pens. Just buy that. So I got that. And I got some, what did I get? There, do I even have one in here? No, I don't. One of the, those big rubber balls that, you can do exercises on and stretch.
Yoga ball.
Yeah. Well, no, it's huge. It's, like 3 feet across.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
I didn't know.
exercise ball. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I was yoga balls were the small ones. But anyway,
There we go.
awesome, Crystal. But I got that. I got these knobby, it's for like deep tissue kind of rolls, but I got it to keep under my neck to be able to try to get the C back in my neck because I've been trying to work on that. And then on my lower back, because technically I have a broken back. So the chiropractor said years
Wait,
ago.
what about your neck? Trying to get what back?
You're supposed to have a C, right? Your neck is not supposed to be straight up, and you're not supposed to be bent forward. It's supposed to have kind of a backward C. It should come forward in the middle and back to the occipital notch, and then C7 down at the bottom. So it kind of does a light little C, and mine's wrong.
Oh yeah, mine is too. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm trying to picture what you're saying. I don't.
Yeah, but I found. Well, the chiropractor wanted to sell me for $100 this small little porcupine kind of spaceship looking rubber thing to sit on so that you could do kind of like a hula hoop, and work your hips to exercise your sacrum and sciatic and lumbar area and get everything to move. And then it had these two slightly bigger than a pool noodle, for one for the cervical and one for lumbar, so that you could lay on the bed to help and get the proper arches back in the bones. And then there was one other thing. So there was two of those. There was the bag it came in, that porcupine pillow. Oh, and a green rubber band. And you were supposed to put the rubber band here behind your head, cradling, not on your neck, but on the head itself. And then with your head forward, then you pull back, kind of doing one of these things, but you're pulling that rubber band. So there's the resistance on the band. And that was supposed to help strengthen the cervical muscles. And $100. And it's like, I bought the two rubber things or knobby things that are slightly bigger than what his thing was, and the big ball. And then I already had a rubber band. So for $15 versus $100, oh, we lost our boy.
Mark. I wonder what he was trying to do.
I don't know. But come on. Yeah, there it is. There you are. Welcome back. See how big that thing is?
Yeah, I love those. I need to get, I used to roll on one of those a lot. It's nice for stretching.
Well, what I got it for was because it said it was for 250 pounds. So you could sit on it and then you could still do that rotation with your hips to get that, I used to belly dance. If I could get my lower back to work again, I would belly dance like you wouldn't believe.
I love it.
Oh, it's great. But, so that's what I got this for, was so that I could sit on it and try and loosen up that lower back and maybe fix myself. And I had to buy, so it was $20 because I had to buy those pumps, bicycle pumps, because I would not have been able to blow that up with my mouth.
Yeah. I have to go to bed, guys. It's 1
All
o'clock
right.
here.
Okay,
Next-
sweetheart.
Meetings tomorrow. But God bless you.
Bless you, bless you. Thank you
It's been a
so much.
pleasure.
I love you.
I love you both. And I will see you soon.
Okay, and don't forget, you said you were going to text me about something.
I know, and I also need to send you your little globe ball. Okay, see you.
All right, sweetheart.
Mimi.
Yeah, Crystal. It was interesting. I know I have PTSD. My youngest daughter's father tried to kill me, and the only thing that stopped him was her when she was 22 months old, walking in the room on him. So learning about childhood PTSD has been an interesting journey. Finding out all kinds of stuff about that has been just eye-opening. One of the things that I want to do on my channel is do some shadow work on healing ourselves, healing that trauma, and getting back the broken pieces. It's kind of like having our soul split into, like a mirror breaking, and so putting all the pieces back together and making us whole again.
So, Brother Musical Terrence, earlier tonight, it was on. I like him.
Who was that?
Pinks, if it's.
Oh,
is it
Minister
her-
Terrence?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. It's got such wonderful energy.
what he does. The other night, it said he was live, so I went over there, and so I've been learning a piece of on my harmonica, and I thought, yeah, let's see if we can drop the link and I'll go up. And then so I was
Did you
scrolling
have
up.
fun?
I was scrolling up. And I'm like, where's the link at? And then I scrolled back down because he turned me blue, made me a mod. So I was scrolling up. Now, I was real excited about that. Now I'm scrolling down. Where's that? Where's that?
Where
link
is that link?
And then I realized it said replay. I thought, oops, you got a replay. I thought, no one I can't get on.
I did that a few times with Lady Tanya because she's doing those encores, and I was like, "Hey, Tanya, I'm here," and then it was like, "Wait a minute."
Because
I felt so silly.
I was watching one of my own lives as well. Because now I press into YouTube Studio so that way I can see if I can see watch hours. So right now it's just watch times. So I guess it's the same thing. I don't know. But then I was watching Shirley. Shirley was on, and I was watching that one the other night, and Shirley says, yes. She said, Mark, she said, I'm just like you. She said, I got on one of Terrence's lives, and she said, I thought it was live, but it's not. She said the replay.
Oh, how funny. That's so funny.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the plumber to come fix my pipes. I had a pipe freeze and burst on me. It's like,
Yeah.
They made to cut a hole in the wall to fix the pipe. I'm like, oh, that must be bad.
Oh,
But this thing, the electricity going out.
Well, I'm so grateful to the young man that came over here and uh, fixed our pipes, because it was just, a month with no water, and just ridiculous.
Yeah, I was was on some Smile or something, and so I was telling them how cold it was because when the electricity just kept going, on and off, comes back on, goes off, then I would just go next door and spend the night with my brother. My
Yeah.
sister got snowed in at the hospital. And
Oh no.
so, so I was over there, and the next morning he said, "Hey, Mark." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Grab up your tablet," and he said, "Let's make a video." He said, "I'm gonna borrow some water and throw it up in the air." He said, "Once I do," he said, "you can film it." So I'm out there. Right before we went outside, he looked at the temperature on the weather channel. It was a -3 below zero. That is cold.
Wow.
I had mittens on my hands, like these small mittens. Now, no way am I going to do a live and take off my mittens and try to press the thing because I don't want my hands exposed to
Yeah.
the cold. And he threw the water up and it freeze and it was coming back down. Like, man, I wish I had putting that on my onto my on my deal, but I couldn't because of the coldness of the, and then the wind was blowing too.
Yeah, it was definitely cold here that night, and I don't know. I'm so grateful for surviving it all.
I'm glad the electricity back on where I don't have to worry about going on next door. Yeah, I didn't mind, but uh, they had two cats next door, and those two cats that love me.
Yeah.
One would, I was sleeping on their couch, and it's a cat that really, really likes me, and they call it, I forget what they call the cat, but the cat got up next to me, so I would tell that cat, I say, and I said, "Come on here a little bit closer and keep me warm, will you?" The fire in the fireplace would, go out, and then my brother would have to put more logs on the fire to keep at least keep the house warm until electricity goes back out again. I'm like, I'm getting tired of this. I'm getting tired of that electricity keep going on and off.
Yeah. Well, I think we're in the clear, and we shouldn't have any more cold period for I'm hoping for a while, cuz I'm done with the cold.
Yep. And then I don't know about Gosper. I don't know. She lost power, not either. But I
I
know Pink
thought they
did.
did.
I know. I know Pink was. Pink had no water either for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, guess I'm in the same boat like with Pink Motivation with no water and oops. Because I was fixing my lunch one day and I noticed there was some water coming up underneath the stove and I'm like, where's that water coming from? Because I knew I didn't leave the sink running. And I'm like, where's that water coming from? And then I looked over there again. There's some more coming up out from the stove. I'm like, okay, I got a problem. And then I noticed I had to call my brother and I said, well, you better get over here. He said, Mark, as soon as I heard your call, as soon as I heard it, he said, I knew you must have had a pipe must have burst in your house. All the kitchen was, had water on it. Carpet had water on it. Then they didn't want me to get into the water because I do have tendonitis in my left knee. They didn't want me to fall down again on it.
Yeah, well, it's good that you're taking it easy on that knee, though.
I do.
Do you know when the plumber's supposed to be coming by?
I don't know. Suppose they come by like last week, so I don't know now. Hope he'll come back though. Hope he'll come soon.
Well, call him and bug him. Hey, dude, I need water.
I'll let my brother call him. I can't.
Get on your brother's case. All right, come on. It's like we've had a week of no rain, no snow anyway. Give me back some water, please. My dog. I didn't realize how much he was drinking out of the toilet until I was having to fill his bowl up with the bottled water that I was buying. And he'd sit there and he's been acting so strange. I realized it was because the toilet lids were down on all the toilets, so he couldn't get any water, and it was upsetting him because he doesn't like to leave my side. He'll go and he'll bug Daddy, but then he comes right back. But he doesn't like to leave my side to go eat. He'll eat if I stand in the kitchen. So I'm his prisoner. I have to stand there so he can eat. And then the minute I walk down to the office to get on my computer, here he comes. He's not even going to finish his food. It's like, really, dog? Go eat. So I got to tell him, drink water. Then he'll go and drink some water. If I'm there.
If you're there.
Yeah. It's like, really.
That was like my two dogs when I used to have two dogs. One would get off the street, and it was a Labrador, and then the other one was a Beagle. And so one day I was painting, this like many years ago. I was painting, and by that time I didn't really have a real good easel, so I put my palette out on my bed, and my Beagle had a very short tail. So the Beagle decided it wants to get its tail like directly right into the paint. And I'm using oil paints. And the other dog, the Labrador, decided it wants to get its paw right into the paint. So I told my mom, I said, Mom, she said, yes, son. I said, can you help me? She said, what do you want me to help you with? I said, well, the Beagle got its tail into the paint, into the oil paint. She said, are you kidding me? I said, no, ma'am, I'm not. She said, well, what about the other dog? I said, the other dog has it. 896, girl. So the other dog had its paw into the paint. She said, let's bathe the Beagle first, and then we'll bathe the other dog. I said, okay, because I have to help my mom, bathe the dog.
Yeah.
And so the paint come out of the dog's tail, and then the Labrador gets in the bathtub, and we had a hard time getting that dog into the bathtub because it was a pretty big sized dog. She says, son, how did those dogs get into the paint? I said, Mom, I don't know. I said, other time I pilot this out on my bed, and I guess the dog just stretched out and had its tail stuck directly into the paint. It's like paint. I said, okay, this is not good. That would have been funny to put that on YouTube, but it wouldn't. I wouldn't on YouTube time.
Yeah, that is funny. I had kind of a similar sort of situation when we moved over here into Mom's house. I brought the dogs over from our house, and I had to give Walter a bath. Walter probably weighs about 80 pounds, maybe. He might even weigh more for all I know. And we broke the toilet seat,
Oh,
fighting to get him in the bathtub. I'm trying to pick him up, and he's pushing, no, 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 I'm not going. And I'm trying to get that dead weight into the tub. He's fighting, and he gives a good push, and we both go falling back. I get on the toilet seat and slide off and busted it right off. It's like, oh. But I won. I got him in the tub. He was like, you are not. No.
they don't like to get wet much.
Oh, he hates for a water dog, because he's got some kind of Labrador. They like water, and then he's got some kind of pointer in him. He points all the time, and he's got those kind of spots that are underneath the white. He's all black with white chest, and
Well, that's like my dog was.
kind of like a spaniel has that spot that's under the fur.
Right.
And he hates water. I pick up the hose, and he's off like a bat out of hell. He just gone. And I'll never forget, I was out in the front yard watering my plants.
Well,
I picked up the hose, and he took off, and I yelled at him, Walter, I'm just watering the plants. And he stopped, and he looked at me to watch, and he saw that I was watering the plants, and so he came back. I was like, dude, really? It was just like, I just could not. He's smart. Go drink some water. He'll go and drink the water. Go eat your food. He'll go eat his food. Go bug daddy, and he'll go bug daddy. And then my husband will sit there and say, you doing your thing again? And as soon as he says, doing your thing again, Gracie, my little Doxy, she hears that, and she jumps off the bed and hides under the bed, because she knows Walter's bugging to go outside. But yet, if my husband opens the back door, Walter comes over to me. Mom, get up so I can go outside.
There's something else, of course. My brother and his wife, they had the daughter, the one that had a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they used to have a dog. My little niece did. It was one of those little dogs, Chihuahuas, I think.
Yeah.
So every time they would go somewhere, they would bring the dog over to me and my mom. So one day my mom was sitting in her recliner, and so I decided to pick this little Chihuahua up, and so I took it to one of the bathrooms. So I hold the dog up up in the mirror. The dog did not realize it was seeing its own reflection. It started to growl and bark. So I guess it was thinking it was another dog through the mirror. And my mom says, son, I said, yes, ma'am. She said, what's that dog barking? What's the dog barking at? I said, Mom, I said, I don't know. I said, I was just holding the dog up to the mirror. She said, well, I thought that dog was barking at because it was seeing another dog. I said, no, ma'am. I said, I'm just trying to look fun. I said, but I don't know what the dog did that for, but that dog was crazy because I used to help my mom a lot. And because my mom had rheumatism arthritis in her fingers real bad. And so sometimes I would have to help her. And so one day I was helping my mom with her feet and everything, because back then, with rheumatism arthritis, it's not the prettiest thing to see. And so I was helping my mom with that, and I dropped something on the carpet, and that little dog went over there. I said, okay, now. I said, I thought, I said, that's not too good there. And the dog I had some hand lotion is what I had.
Yeah.
And I dropped it on the carpet, and the dog went out there and doing that. I'm like, oh, mom says, son, she said, I said, well, I said, I hope it doesn't hurt the dog because I don't know where we can take it to. I'm like, I hope they come back over and pick that dog up. It was a sweet old dog.
Dogs are wonderful companions. Children, brothers, sisters. They're so many things.
Mm-hmm.
Infinitely entertaining.
96 year old says, do you, do you have pets now, Mark? No. No, I don't. I wish I did, though, but I don't have no more pets.
Yeah, I love my two. They definitely try my patience sometimes.
Yep.
But that's the same with any child,
Mm.
which is, quite, it could be quite entertaining and it could be quite infuriating.
Mm.
And to see the things that they think about, they go through these thought processes and you watch their, now you got me doing it. Your little brain is trying to work something out. You're like, what are you up to? I'll never forget Walter noting that the back gate was open. And I'm like, Walter, no. And he looks at me and he looks at the corner and he looks back at me again and then he takes off. It's like, are you close enough to reach me? Get away with this. It was just like, then I had to chase him across the street, and our street's become like a major highway now, which I hate. And it's just, I worry about him having one of his, because he doesn't look both ways before he crosses. He just zimps, and it's like, if he got hit by a car, I would lose it. That would be it for me. I could not take that. I've had him now, I guess, 10 years. I think it should be 10 years. He's family. And oh, is he a grouchy old man now? He lays on the bed. He crowds my husband. And if my husband tries to move his feet and he's like, I'm asleep, damn it, he'll grow. And then he'll jump off the bed. And you'll hear this huff. It's like, you disturbed my sleep. And then he'll come right back up on the bed. Or maybe it's a thud on the floor because he's just lays down and he literally drops his whole weight. And that lasts maybe 5 minutes. I don't even think it lasts that long. And then he's back up on the bed again. And then in the morning, it's all about getting on his back and kicking his legs. And he's just kicking. What are you doing? And he just has a good old time. It's just a laugh fest. And then, of course, Grace with her ticky, 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 because her little nails tap on the linoleum. And she prances. Little Miss Priss. And she prances. It's just funny. I think I would really be lost without them.
Yeah. Man, me and my mom had to take the dog to the vet. when she was living, my dogs didn't like going to the vet.
Yeah.
And when you hear that leash, when you get the leash ready, the beagle would hide up beneath the furniture, and I'll have to try to kneel down and get the dog out from the furniture.
Oh, yeah. There'd be no way I could take them to the vet.
Mm,
Grace doesn't like anybody.
mm,
She's scared to death of everything. But if a stranger comes in the house, she's right after him.
that's good.
Gracie Ann, would you stop? Annoying. Thank you. Why can't you be snoring like your brother? She's over there chewing on herself. It's like, child.
I know that feeling from my two dogs. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and you're like, it's just this little sound, but it's like, it gets to be so loud.
Yep.
Why are you so loud? I love your laugh. Kidaki. Oh, goodness.
I've been streaming for 2 hours.
What, babe?
I've been streaming for over 2 hours, or about 2 hours.
Oh, wow. Well,
I guess that's pretty good for my numbers, though.
yeah, it's good for, and you've got, wonderful people. I can't wait for Tuesday. Tuesday will be awesome.
Oh, I can't even getting that. 10 people up in the panel. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Hope
We'll have
Shirley
fun.
on this. That'd be wonderful.
Well, I know Pink's going to come in, and I'm going to be there. I don't know who else is. I think did you say Shirley?
Yeah, and then I was talking to Trooper C and Dana.
Yeah.
think. Matter of fact, when the other night when Pink didn't go live,
Yeah.
so Pink, I said, Pink, I did something. She said, what did you do, baby? I said, I filled in for you. Oh, she said, oh, thank you. I said, yeah. I said, but you ain't gonna believe this, Pink. She said, what? I said, I raid Triple C and Josie's show. She said, get out here. She said, really? I said, yes, ma'am, I did. I said, I raid them.
That's cool. That's so
Well,
cool.
I'm learning, so it just takes me a little bit longer, but I'm learning.
That is so cool. Oh.
It helped me with my numbers. I don't think I have anybody to play my. I don't think I have anybody to run my playlist for me. I can do that Tuesday.
How long does your paints take to dry?
With oars, it usually takes 9 in the chat. Thanks, 96 girl. Usually, time it takes my oil paint a little bit longer to dry because of oils.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's been a long time since I used oil paints. I used to paint in oils and oils and acrylics, watercolors. This is my new experience, and I've enjoyed it. I loved all the Christmas cards I made. But I think it took about a week for my paints to dry.
Yeah, it takes about that long for mine. So if I'm using paint mediums, it usually takes a little bit longer.
Yeah.
if it's wet on wet.
I didn't do a lot with any fancy. Got 14 thumbs up. Thank you, 96.
Thank you. I mean, see that.
I don't remember ever using anything, none of the different mediums. I didn't know about, what is that stuff called? Not the gouache. Some other kind of, that you prime your
Right.
canvas with. It's been so long since I did any of that, so I don't remember. I was a kid when I started painting in oils. But I think, honey, I am toast and ready to call it a night.
I'm fixing in this live stream, probably go live again tomorrow.
Well, that would be cool. Are you going to finish the painting up, or are you going to work on something different?
I'm doing work on something different. I got one canvas left. I guess I'll say that one for the class. It's just all to pour me some more.
I don't think it was called Verso, Crystal. I thought it began Gesso. That's it. Thank you.
That's it. Yeah.
I think I don't know, do they use gesso for oil, or is that just strictly for acrylic paints?
There's an artist that use gesso, and sometimes I would use gesso like that too to do transparent type colors and stuff.
Oh, excuse me.
Artists that use that too.
Yeah, I'd have to get back into studying it. The whole thing with the watercolor has been really cool. I still keep this one up here. This is my very first ever watercolor.
Wow, that's good though. Look like the moon.
Yeah, that's supposed to be the moon, and then the night sky, and there we go.
Like that.
That one. And that was my very first time. I was like, well, let's see what we could do. Oh, I like that. So learning about the layering and stuff. Problem is, I'm not a patient person. I mean, I'm patient with a lot of stuff, but watercolor, you've got to let it dry in between. And I think that was probably my problem with the oils, was that I didn't want to wait days. I want it dry now. It's like, but it's, at least you can cheat with the watercolor. You can dry it with a dryer.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, 96. Oh, Crystal, that is so awesome.
I say her daughter's working on towards her
associate's degree in art.
associate degree. I don't know what it is.
Well, everybody, there's degrees when you go to college and stuff. You can get a degree in science, biology, blah, 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 but you could get a degree in art too. I was, and I can't remember, what was that called? Creative arts? No. I don't know. My high college days are long gone. I don't remember that stuff either. But anyway, I am going to take my happy, disheveled self and my two little one, well, my two, whatever, my four-leggeds, and go toss them in bed, and I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to hope that I can get some things done around here so that tomorrow I can have my, or not tomorrow, I'm sorry, brain fart, too many things at once. I'm hoping that I can get things done over the next few days so that next week I can start to go back on live. Because I've planned out several different stories, I guess I'm going to call it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of Tuesday nights to do, and I wanted to talk with you anyway, and with Pink, and Lady Tanya about. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. I want to make sure that I don't interfere with anybody else's streams.
Right.
I'm thinking my Tuesday night stream will be from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. and it's just going to be just an hour long. I'll bring up different people for chatting and stuff and having conversations. Have a safe drive home, 96. But that Tuesday nights will be the coffee, tea, and soul.
Mhm.
And so that'll be a nice chill chat, talk and discuss various things. And then I haven't figured out for the other two if they will be because I'm going to do Mother Earth and Father Son, and then the other one is Grandmother Medicine, and that one will deal with natural herbs and things that you can do for healing and whatnot, and just gardening stuff and cooking things, foods. I want to do some stuff on talking about the difference between what's a spice and what's an herb. No, soul, well, I mean, it can be. It's, the number 11 is the number of mastery. And we look at it as, angels talking to us. So anytime you see recurring numbers, it's usually that you're being talked to. Thank you, baby girl. But I like Metatron. He comes in sometimes. Melchizedek comes in. And sometimes Grandmother Mary shows up. But yeah, so that's what I'm looking at, and I'm still trying to flush it all out. But I'm being good, and I'm writing notes, and I'm putting thoughts down so that I can have it all figured out. Kind of like I think the Mother Earth, Father Sky will have some storytelling.
Mhm.
I know, Crystal, we all are. Yay, woot, we're good. But I'm going to do some storytelling on that, but kind of things like Native American stories, some of the Hopi stories, and just different stories from around the world about creation, about life, about, why certain things are done. If I can read this to you before because I want your opinion. It was a
Okay.
thought when I was at the restaurant. I haven't even looked at this, so I really don't even know what it was. But it's our place and purpose in time. We have been called to become stewards of life, in honor of one another, to care for the Great Mother, our home, to look upon the face of ourselves mirrored in one another, to find true love, not an amorous or dreamy love, the stuff of movies, but of the divine, unconditional love of our souls, our spirit, our creator.
I like that. Talking about the creator.
Yeah, so that's Mother Earth, Father Sky.
Mother Earth. I guess I never heard about the Mother Earth before.
Well, it's interesting. I have the benefit of having a live-in Bible scholar. My husband, went to seminary, and so thank you, Crystal. And so I can ask him questions, and And he's enlightened me about some of the wording in the books, and that what people have before them today and even the last couple hundred years are not what was originally written. And so certain words mean different things than what we use, we have them translated into now. And there are two versions of the Lord's Prayer in the ancient original language in Aramaic. And one of them is Father, Mother, God. And, it's our Father, Mother who art in heaven. And so, and then even, because Christianity came from Judaism, from, the Old Testament, the Hebrews. And so there are places in there where they referred to there being a mother. And then you've got the ancient traditions, that predate Christianity and predate Judaism, that are all over the globe, where they talk about Mother Earth and Father Sky, Grandmother Moon and Grandfather Sun, and just because every group of people had a different story, a different way to understand life, to understand everything around them, understanding that this is your Mother Earth, this is our home, that, we come from the dirt, we go to the dirt, right? That's one of the sayings. And so she's the mother, whereas the sky, there's one really beautiful story that I don't remember it verbatim, but basically Father Earth and Mother Sky were so in love, but they were like this. Yes, white buffalo calf woman. And that they were always like this, so the children and everything were suffocating. They couldn't, because they were so close. And so in order to get the sky and the earth to separate, in one story they were blowing smoke. I forgot which one of the characters, because like in Greek mythology it was Uranus, I think, that was Father Sky, and Gaia was Mother Earth, and I'm probably getting them all mixed up. And one of the children castrated him.
Right.
And so that sent him off. And then that was why there was the separation, and life came from, I think Persephone came out of the water. I don't know. I'm getting all of them mixed up because there's so many close similarities to the same stories with just slight change of names. The Native American stories are really cool, and I tend to lean towards Native American, but also Celtic, and I'm very eclectic. All life should be treasured, all of it. It's hard to do though when a cockroach comes running across. It's like, I'm supposed to revere you. I don't think so. Slack. Yeah. We have those big, what do they call them? Palmetto bugs. The flying cockroaches. I'll never forget one of those tree beetles flying past my head. I screamed like a bloody kid. It scared me. It's like, it was like, no. And I've had them in my hair. I hated it. We don't have those in California. They don't fly. They know better than that.
Yeah, those grasshoppers when you're out here. They'd be flying, and when it hits you, it stings real bad. And I was walking, I would, walk a little bit, just getting exercise, and then it'd be like swarms of them everywhere. It reminds me of locusts back in the Bible days, how they used to be. Like, man, it's been pretty bad.
Yeah, no, I remember somebody saying, "Oh, they don't bite." It says baloney. Look at that.
He sting.
Yeah, Crystal, I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of these bugs, I've been lucky. I have never seen a scorpion here. I know we have them because my husband found one on our tractor when he went to go sit down on the riding lawnmower. There was one right on the seat. It was a good thing he looked. But I've not had to see one, and I have not had to see what is that? A rattlesnake. Now I have seen the copperhead and the cottonmouth. Or are those the same? There's the black one. I don't remember what that is, but yeah, no. No. I'm not a fan of that. I've been lucky. We've been here 24 years. I know, Crystal. It's like, oh my goodness. My husband used to tell us a story about in the warehouse of a company he used to work for. They had this like huge cockroach, and they painted him silver, spray painted him silver, and that thing lived forever and was running all hi ho silver as it comes skittering through the warehouse. I was like, really? Oh my goodness, no. Walter, what are you doing? What are you doing? You ready to go to bed? You tired? You want to go to bed? Are you going to fall asleep sitting there? He's looking, and then his head's kind of doing one of these things. It's just moving slowly.
I did that myself before, sitting in the chair.
Oh, I've had a few of those sitting here working away, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, bedtime. I'm out of here. And on that note, thank you, Mark, for allowing me to share space with you. This has been wonderful. You are such a beautiful, loving soul.
Thank you.
I am so grateful to call you family.
Thank you. Here too.
Oh, I'm going to share something with you before I leave because you're going to laugh.
That's all right.
Pink called me up. We were talking some stuff, and then I guess somebody sent a text to her and said that somebody's moving in on your husband. And I started laughing because I had wrote on, I think it was your Bob Ross. I was the first comment, and I wrote, I love you. And she's like, now, soul, you no moving in on my husband.
Your Bob was la la la. It's moving on my. Take it and may do it. La la la. Get that from Joe.
Oh, it was funny. All right, 96. You have a sweet dream, and see you tomorrow. And I bless everybody. Thank you so much for being in my heart. You guys are awesome. And on that note, I love you, Mark. I am gone off into the sunset. Actually, I'm going that way, but it's that way. Night, dear.
Okay, everybody. It's been a good stream, and I'll probably will go back. Probably this is my second stream, so I'll probably go live again. Hopefully I can go live during the morning. I mean, in the afternoon, and then go live again tomorrow night. If Pete goes live, then I can go live right after her. So anyway, thanks to my mods coming in the building, and thank y'all. Thank you, Mark. Oh, you're welcome, Miss M. Yes, Miss M. Thank you for coming in. Yes. Oh, put a heart in the chat. I like that. Yes. Okay. So hopefully, hopefully Triple C and Joshua will join me next Tuesday as well, because I know that's going to be a lot of fun. As well, Mark. It's been great. Oh, thank you, Crystal. Yes, you too. Yes. Okay. So let's see. Let's see anybody else. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. And thanks for y'all coming by.